Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at the NASL studio, bringing to you the NASL Show Match Series, where we take two top players and we pit them against each other in a $500 show match. This week we do have MacSed against Select, where Select is up 3-0 currently. He's at game point. I do want to go into the NSQ real quick. It is the next season qualifier for the NASL season number 3. You can go and participate in it. Go ahead and go over to nasl.tv and more information can be found there. A lot of new changes has happened to the NASL, and obviously you can see this is one of them. Can I get a camera 3 shot real quick? You can see a very, very big change in the studio, so I'm really, really happy for that. But let's go ahead and get into the game right now and check out MacSed versus Select.
Yep, we've got MacSed starting at the bottom right, and I think this map is Entombed Valley.
Yes.
Okay, Entombed Valley, giant of a map, and when you're not cross-map, you've got a funny little awkward... I don't know, actually that's a different map, sorry. Actually, I have this map vetoed down.
Me too.
I don't like it very much. Didn't you get 4-gated by someone once on this map?
Yes, I did, by a really strong player. His name was Combat X.
Oh,
Big
nice.
Shout out to him.
Oh, well, we shouldn't be shouting out him, I guess, but anything worth it to show you've been 4-gated. Yeah, there's a funny little ledge. Oh, a pretty big ledge. You can just warp in from the lower ground into someone's base on the back. Nonetheless, it is a map that, again, lends itself to, of course, unique kinds of play. Every map is different. It has been selected as the 4th map for this show match. MacSed so far on 1 gas, getting a cybernetic score, and Select has gone for the refinery. Now, the probe knows that Terran is at the bottom right. He scouted bottom left, but the SCV is in his base so quickly that he forgoes scouting at the top left and goes straight to Terran's base. Nonetheless, he will be too late to get any kind of real information. And that is exactly the game that he would want to have a lot of information. What did he see? What did he see? What did he see?
He didn't see anything.
Nope, he saw nothing. And there is a lot to be seen. There is a reactor on the barracks and a second barracks coming up there. I think that's a really good decision by Select, because so far MacSed has always been going expansion off of 1 gate and holding off a 2-gate. A 2 barracks build with 1 gate is challenging, and you need the information. It's possible, but you would very much like to have the information to do that. And if Terran throws a little fuel on the fire and decides to bring a bunch of SCVs, it can even be a game-winning move, rather than just, I'm gonna kill your expansion, build a bunker at the bottom, retreat, and build my own expansion. Yeah. So let's see what he does. I do not take Select for someone who will pool all his SCVs. Also, it's a rather big map, so I think we're gonna see the variant where he's gonna kill the inevitable 1-gate expansion, which we see MacSed has done. He's gonna be able to kill it. Went for concussive shells. Probably gonna move out with 1 to 2 Marauders and 6 to 7 or so Marines.
Yeah, that's the complete standard that we always see. And you are absolutely right. There's the expansion that goes down for MacSed. So the big question is, can he actually fend this off? Now, this is... Ooh, hiccups. This is clutch. He actually put down 2 gateways. This isn't something we normally see.
Yeah. It is the most safe thing to do after... Ooh. Okay. It is the most safe thing to do after going for a 1-gate expansion.
But this is the first time we actually see him doing this. That's why I'm saying.
Exactly,
I don't mean to say that it's weird in general.
Oh, yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. You're right, and that actually will work well for him this game, probably. He also cancelled the bunker, which initially was not being spotted by the Nexus. Unfinished buildings do not have a lot of vision. He now needs to make the perfect amounts of unit and the perfect types of units. He needs to also activate his Guardian Shield. He should not be using Force Field here. Yeah. That's very good. Guardian Shield.
Nice.
He should be having no problem at all fending this off. Yeah, he should pull back now, though, and wait for another warp in. Don't lose the sentry. Oh, and that's just so sloppy micro.
but it still might be enough. You can see he's focusing down the Marauder, and the Marines are just getting cleaned up really nicely. He's microing back the weakened Stalkers, but finally Select is just going to stutter step forward, try to take out that one Stalker, but it's not going to go down. So overall, nice job by MacSed, even with, you know, pushing all the way into that Marine fire. You can see just how strong that Guardian shield is. It took so many hits for those Marines to actually clean up just the one sentry, let alone the rest of the Stalkers.
But I feel like MacSed could have cleaned that up with half the losses that he did. He lost like a Stalker, a Sentry, he lost 2 Zealots, maybe another Stalker. To be honest, he need only have lost 2 Zealots there. Go back for Warpins, or just micro better, and just 2 Zealots of loss. He now lost more than he should have. He also mostly forgot to build probes and transfer probes to his base during the fight. Still, he's got a gigantic probe lead. And now the important part is, usually when Terran went for a 2 barracks aggression, there's 2 possible ways of following up. They either follow up with an expansion, which is then by default later than the Protoss one, but then they hope they have done damage, or they go for Medivacs, Stim Pack, Combat Shield, and so forth. In this case, he's also chosen to add tanks to the fray, and what MacSed is doing is decent. He is adding a lot of gateways, that's good. He's got a Dark Shrine, that's pretty nice against someone who does not have a Raven, who probably won't have much energy on his orbital command. All really good things for him. What I'm curious to see is he using the 3 gateways that he has sufficiently? Right now we're looking, he had 3 full Warpins waiting, made only 1 Zealot. Investing a lot on economy. Now saw that there is not an expansion for Select, so he should definitely not be making any more probes. This is the situation where he doesn't need more probes. He doesn't even need that much gas. He needs to use his gateways constantly, and he needs to chrono boost them. He's not doing that. He's got 3 gateways right now with available Warpins. He's again got a huge supply build up. He's not using his gateways, and then you wonder why make that many gateways when you don't intend to use them. Even adding a 7th and an 8th gateway here, though he still has available Warpins on all of his gateways, making massive amounts of probes, which is just all really the wrong decision. I mean, come on, Select doesn't have an expansion.
Exactly, and you can see the supplies are fairly even right now. There's a little bit of harass coming out, but the Marines need to evacuate immediately. But yeah, I have to reiterate everything you were saying. I mean, really, if you look at the efficiency of each gateway, a lot of times I always say, okay, to see if a gateway is worth it, how many units come out of each gateway? And if it's only 1 or 2 gateways, well, or excuse me, 1 or 2 units, let's say it's 2 Zealots that come out of the gateway, and that's it for this particular time. Well, you take those 2 Zealots, instead of them costing 200, they cost 350 because you had to pay for that gateway. So,
True.
You know, there's a lot of things that you can go to say, okay, well, the effectiveness of this gateway at this point in time for its purposes aren't really useful. I shouldn't get that. And we can see probably the efficiency of each of these gateways. He's up to 8 gateways at this point. Probably not that good. He has a lot of you know, opportunity cost lost in these gateways for units.
Yeah, but on the other hand, let's not kid ourselves either. He took what I think is an unnecessary risk in cranking out that many probes, but by now he calmed down, he stopped, he's not going for a 3rd, and he's now reaping the benefits from those probes. And now, since Select didn't attack yet, he should be able to crush this attack no problem. What he needs to do is, though, he needs not to be investing in any of these upgrades. He needs to constantly use all his gateways and to transform those DTs to Archons. He also is very much advised to meet Select somewhere towards the middle of the map in the first fight. Get those tanks to siege, buy time, and so forth.
Exactly.
He shouldn't be camping in this base.
Yeah, you don't want to give your opponent position. There you go. He was you're absolutely correct. He's making that Archon right now, Zealots, and it looks like the Immortal is on their way. +1 armor is being researched. Charge is already researched. So he has all the components to actually absolutely destroy this army composition.
What a smart flank there. The units are going to come from the left. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I can see no problem for Select to crush this army definitively. Zealot's closing in on the tanks. Archon doing a pretty good job there. Lots of Marines, but remember, there's no medivacs, and he's just crushing through this fight. Beautiful flank set up there by MacSed. Really the best thing he could have done for this fight, and he cleans everything up, no problem. And it illustrates how far MacSed was probably ahead after the failed 2 barracks attack.
And that's going to be it. I mean, really, he was behind game 1. Select was behind game 1, but this is a lot more. It looks like a little bit of a drop going in the back of MacSed's base, but he's just going to evacuate. Nice feedback, takes it out, and there it is. GG. And that's going to do it. So MacSed on his way to, reverse all killing, I guess. 3-1 now. We have the record. Grubby, what's your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I think MacSed took some risks, but he also did a lot of good stuff. He did the 3 gateway follow-up, perhaps some epic spider senses, or just changing it up for the heck of it. It was safe. He held off the 2 barracks, not perfectly, but pretty well anyway. And then he got the information he needed to know that there was not an expansion going up from Select. And he got ready for it. And especially the fight itself, he got ready for it in the most spectacular way possible with a really, really good flank. And I think that's something we don't see enough in StarCraft 2 yet, where you position part of your army in a very different place on the map and then have it come from the other side towards the opponent.
Yeah. And overall, I mean, Select really just drilled himself into the ground. He was really forced upon that decision after making the factory right after the 2 racks, which we didn't actually get to cover because of the action that happened. But we can say definitively that that 3 gate was able to hold him off completely. And then from there, MacSed maintained his advantage. A good job. He knew that an attack was impending and just defending against it nicely, and overall we had a very easy game for MacSed. So that being said, 3-1 up for Select. We're going to go into our 5th game in a little bit. Everybody stay tuned. We'll be back after this break.